Allow me again to also recognize the presence of UNECA, the African Union Commission. I think the commissioner was here. He must have gone, but I think we need to recognize the UNDP, the AfCFTA Secretariat. Thank you, and all other colleagues whom I have not mentioned their names. We want to recognize their presence in Nairobi. Secondly, I also want to say that it's a great pleasure for me as a government representative to join you colleagues for this extremely important workshop. It is a very important workshop, which I think is one of its own. And again, this to say that Kenya is happy to have hosted this workshop. And we look forward to hosting many other workshops. And I want to once again recognize the organizers of this workshop and even those who decided to bring this workshop to Nairobi. We really want to appreciate that and say that you are always welcome to Nairobi. My leader has always been saying that Kenya is the home of mankind. So when you come to Nairobi, you are coming home. And I want to encourage you to continue even staying at home. Thirdly, I want to also say that this conference is taking place workshop is taking place at a very critical moment in the CFTA implementation. This is the time that we are moving to real implementation. It is no longer about negotiating the rules of origin. It is no longer about negotiating the protocol on trade in goods. It is no longer about negotiating the protocol on trade in services. It is about implementing the CFTA. It is about making sense about the CFTA. What is this CFTA? So this workshop is happening at a very critical time. And I believe that from the discussions that we have been having here, I joined you colleagues one of the days, and I was gratified to hear the exchanges that you had. The kind of experiences that you are exchanging, the kind of challenges that you are bringing forward, the kind of solutions that we are trying to seek together, how do we move forward? To me, that is the most important step of the implementation of the CFTA. And that one I must underline. This workshop is happening at a very critical moment in the implementation of the CFTA. The strategies that we have also developed in our countries, it's not about a story like any other. We have got many strategies in our countries. I'm sure those who are in government knows what I'm talking about. There are many strategies that we have had. Some of them have not been implemented, but this particular one that we are talking about is a critical one. The country that I come from, I'm in charge of the CFTA. And I've always been saying the CFTA is not like any other trade agreement. We have got agreements with the EU, we have got agreements with the tripartite, the EAC, COMESA, and many others, but the CFTA is one of its own. The figure, the energy that is there amongst every other leadership, every other level, including the highest level of leadership in this country, the CFTA is one of its own. And I think there is a belief, again, I don't know whether it is going to be real or not, but I think it is going to be real, that the CFTA is the one that is going to revolutionize Africa. It is the one that is going to change Africa. When we are going to write the history of the development of Africa, the chapter on the CFTA is going to be extremely rich. And it is going to be one of the important chapters in the development of Africa, in all aspects of it. Talk about industrial base, talk about the movement of people, despite the challenges. Talk about enhancing intra-African trade. It is like we are hearing about enhancing intra-trade as if we have never heard about it before, but it is because of the importance of the CFTA. So I just wanted to say that the success of the CFTA is going to be hinged on the implementation, not about the beauty of the agreement. It's not about the detailed agreement. It is not about the number of protocols that we have negotiated. It is about the implementation of the commitments that we have undertaken to. And I think at this level, I want to call upon all of us that the commitments that we have made, we implement them to the letter, without leaving a comma. The commitments that we have made, some of them might be too ambitious. And again, I'm saying this as one of the negotiators. Some of them might be too ambitious, but let us implement all the commitments that we have made, and we will really see the impact of the CFTA in the development of Africa. And I also want to say that, well, I must underline, or rather underscore the commitment of Kenya in the CFTA process. It has been demonstrated. But I just wanted to say that we have not done as much as we should have done as government, particularly in sensitizing the people. The sensitization, if we don't do it, the CFTA is going to be one of the stories that we have heard about trade. And I want to call, to rather first of all mention that as a country, Kenya, we are moving to another level in terms of sensitizing the people through all the media that we have. All what we know about disseminating an information to the people, including even the radio stations, the vernacular radio station where someone in the village will understand what you are talking about. That is a step that we are moving. And I want to call upon all of us. I believe in all our countries we are doing the same, but I want to call upon all of us to sensitize, create the awareness in the people so that people knows the existence of the CFTA. The opportunities that are there in Mauritania, the opportunities that are there in Mali, the opportunities that are there in Angola when you are here in Kenya. And I also want to say that as we do dissemination, we also involve every other step in our economies. I really want to see a time where the small lady in my village in Bomet, where I come from, benefits from the CFTA without necessarily knowing where Accra is, without necessarily knowing that Mr. Prudence has been extremely moving towards creating a CFTA. What am I trying to say? Let every person in the country benefit from the CFTA. How will they do that? It is going to do that. They are going to do that by knowing that there is someone who is going to come and pick the square wiki that you are growing. There is someone who is going to come and pick the maize that you are growing. Through the national value chains and the regional value chains, we should be able to benefit from the CFTA, all of us, without leaving any individual behind, including the trading services. The dancer in the village should also benefit from the CFTA without necessarily knowing about this agreement. So that is the call that we are making from the Kenya government, because we know that is how this agreement is going to make sense to all of us, to make sense to our economies, and also to make sense even for those who are doubting Thomas is outside there. If we don't do that, everyone is going to laugh at us and say, yes, the agreement is beautiful. By the way, people are quoting the CFTA agreement. Talk to in any other negotiations outside Africa. The mention of the CFTA is 101 times because of the nature of the agreements that we've negotiated. Maybe as I quote to conclude, the challenges are there. We must not forget or rather assume that there are no challenges. But now, those challenges are there. The NTBs are there. The logistical nightmares are there. If you want to go to, I say again, Mauritania, not because I like or I don't like Mauritania. I'm just mentioning a country that is at the tip end of Africa. If you want to go to Mauritania to carry your goods, how do you go to Mauritania? That's a challenge. If you want to carry a number of, bulk goods to any part of Africa, how do you go? I give you an example. When we sent the first consignment from Kenya to Accra, it took 7 weeks from Nairobi to reach Accra. Now, if we were to go to Mauritania, I'm sure it was going to take another maybe 3 additional weeks. And then, is that what we want? If you want to go to one of these countries in Central Africa, maybe you have to go outside Africa and then you come back to Africa if you are flying. These are the logistical nightmares that we are talking about, the non-tariff barriers, which have already been recorded. We have just started the trade, but there are already non-tariff barriers, which have already been recorded. the call that we are making is the challenges that we have, we are not wishing them away. Let us all have a concerted effort to resolve them in one way or another. When we meet together, like in this forum, we will be able to design or rather propose ways that we can resolve these particular challenges. And I want to call upon again our partners, our development partners, and everyone in government, in private sector, so that we can have a concerted effort in trying to resolve these challenges. Finally, I was pleased to see the recommendations that you have made for this, which I'm really happy about. And again, I want to say, I wish, and I think Prudence has confirmed that this is going to be repeated. I was actually going to propose that, or rather make a recommendation that let us have it annually. By annually is too much, annually. Maybe every 6 months, but I think annually is the best. Because now, you will be hearing about challenges in one country or the other. How do we solve this and that? I think annually is going to be the best. So, and how do we do it? We all need to come together as private sector, government, and I don't want to call them now our development partners. I want to call them our collaborators. Because we have been on this together since the beginning. Up to now, I think they are now our collaborators rather than even our supporters. And finally, I want to wish you, all of us, those who are going to travel today, I wish you bon voyage. Those who want to remain at home, I still want to encourage you to remain at home. And I also want to wish you, or rather think that you will find time to visit a few of the areas that you can enjoy, including seeing the lion just outside this building. With that, maybe I can say I have a pleasure to declare this workshop closed.